Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here with me today. So I'm creating a piece that includes 4 or 5 different colours that you might not think go together, but I'm going to explain the colour palette in a minute and I'll show you the colours and the consistencies. But I'm also going to use a marble and it's going to create some lines on the canvas. So I'm going to puddle pour onto the canvas. I'm going to take one colour at a time, create some puddles of paint. I'm going to drop the marble in those puddles and then I'm going to pick my canvas up and swirl it around to make some lines and then stretch out the piece to see what kind of pattern we get on the surface. So I'm going to have a bit of fun. I've got the marbles, I've not lost mine. So let's see what we can create. So here's my colour palette, and as you can see I'm using different brands. I've got my Liquitex Turquoise Blue, Amsterdam's Van Dyke Brown, and then I'm using Arteza, that's a Pearl Marmalade, and a Pearl Deep Brown, and then Pebio's Iridescent Blue Black. So I wanted to use this colour palette because I know browns aren't used often. Well, what I would say is I don't use browns often in my work. And actually it's a colour that I really love. As you know, I'm a huge fan of nature. And that doesn't just mean green and all those kind of tones that you see over the seasons. But I do love the brown tone. So I thought, what better way to show my love for the colour brown and some of the tones surrounding brown by also adding in a blue turquoise to do a puddle pour using a marble to create the detail. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take each colour one by one and I'm going to puddle pour those colours on the canvas, drop in a marble, tilt the marble across those puddles to create some really interesting lines and details. And I hope you'll stick with me because the way this piece transforms is beautiful. And it's almost a way for me to prove that browns can also be great in a piece that you want to design. So I think I've got enough colour and volume of paint on my canvas. I'm just going to use my blowtorch to pop the air bubbles that are formed in the paint. And as you know, those air bubbles are present because I've mixed my paints myself with paint, pouring medium and water. So the fun part, where should we drop this marble? I normally just go directly in the centre, so why break a habit of a lifetime? I'm dropping the marble in that pearl marmalade. And all I'm going to do, as you can see, is pick up my canvas and I'm going to tilt it from side to side. I'm going to allow the marble to travel between all those puddles by dragging some of the paint from one puddle to another, infusing that paint and creating some really interesting lines. And those lines will become even more interesting when we go to stretch out the design and expand the pattern that we're creating on top. So I think I've got enough, so I'm going to just drop my marble onto the table. And what I'll do is I'll take you in now just so you can see the detail of the lines that we've created by using that marble. By allowing that marble to go from all those different colours of puddles into another puddle, allowing those lines to be formed and created. I think it's really important to sometimes just have a real good look at the pattern that you've created before you start stretching it out. So I've got my gloves on and I'm going to just take some time now to stretch the paint across the full surface area of the canvas and down the sides. And when I do this, remember, I'm in no rush to complete the look. I want to enjoy the process and enjoy that creation process of tilting the paint from side to side, having a look at the composition, having a look at the block colour that I'm creating in one area, so that the colours that you can see, and the lines that are being stretched out as you tilt from side to side. Don't be scared to turn the canvas round, change direction. That's exactly what I'm doing now. Because you get to know the weight of the paint and where the paint is on that canvas, you want to know where you want to push your paint over the edge first, to then bring it back on itself, to then push it into other areas of the canvas. So you don't only get good coverage, but you've got good consistency on top too. As I'm tilting and pushing those colours over the edges and then back on itself on the surface, I can see those colours coming into themselves in terms of how they pop and how they work together. This is a colour palette that I absolutely love, and I'm definitely going to work with some more of these colours in the future to create different designs. But the browns and that pearl marmalade and that blue turquoise are really working well together. I'm just going to finish off this last corner by tilting the paint and then just having a look at the composition before I take you in for a closer look at the wet version. I'll of course let it dry and take you in for a final look too. But remember, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like, because by doing that also helps me reach other people on YouTube that don't yet know about my channel, who may also be interested in this type of art form. So by doing that, you're helping me out big time. So thank you in advance. I'll show you some of the details now of this wet version, and you can see how those lines have been created by using the marble, and how the design itself has been stretched out across that canvas by tilting it from side to side, allowing that paint to fully cover the surface area. And here we go, here's the dry version. It's not yet varnished, and I really do promise to show you some of the varnished pieces Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram account because I do publish all the finished pieces on there too once they've been varnished, so you can see a final end result. But I do love how that pearl marmalade is just glowing through on this piece. It's almost like a copper colour. I love the blues, of course, but the browns was something that I wanted to celebrate and use more of. So I'm so pleased I used that Van Dyke brown and the deep pearl brown by Arteza. I think they've worked really well together. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope I get to see you again in the next video. Have a great week, everyone. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye.